Hello friends, in this video we will see how we can use the functions in Excel. Now function is what? Function is a predefined formulas that performs calculation using specific values in a particular order. Excel includes many common functions that can be used to quickly find the sum, average, count and maximum value and minimum value. Now for a range of cell, now in order to use function correctly, you'll need to understand the difference part of the functions and how to create argument to calculate values and cell reference. So we can do lots of things by using a formula, by using the mathematical operators directly, like we can use plus, we can use adding, we can use multiplication, we can use division, we can do it all manually. But instead of doing these manually using formula, we can use these predefined formulas, and that is called what? Functions. So if we want to use a function correctly, so in order to use the function correctly, we must understand the syntax, the specific way of using the function, and it is called what? Syntax. So first, whenever we want to start a function or even a formula, so what we will start with? The equal sign. So whenever we want to apply any function or we want to use any formula, we start with equal sign. After the equal sign, you have to mention this function name. That means the name of the function. For example, here in this image, you can see I'm using what? This function, and that function name is sum. And then you can mention one or more arguments. Arguments will depend on the function which you are using. Some function accept one argument, some functions accept multiple arguments. So it depends on the function what argument we want to give. For example, here this function is actually do what? It add all the values in the reference which we mentioned. For example, here I am mentioning the reference from A2 to A10. So it will do what? It will add all the values of this range. That is what this sum do. Then arguments can refer to both individual cells and cell ranges, and and must be enclosed within parentheses. So when you are mentioning the argument, it must be enclosed with this parenthesis. If you don't give the parenthesis one of the side, then again what? It is a syntax error. So depending on the syntax of the function required, you can give the arguments, whether it accept one argument or multiple argument. For example, this function, it is called average. Now this average function accept one argument. So either I can give one argument by mentioning one cell, or one by one other cell, or I can give a range of cell. So for example, here it is mentioning here in this image what? From the B1 to B9, and this will do what? It will take out the average value for all the values which you have mentioned in the range. And some function can accept multiple values. Now when you are applying, when you are giving multiple values in the same function, they must be divided by comma. For example, here I'm using sum again, and what I'm doing, I'm mentioning multiple values here, multiple arguments. And like first argument I am mentioning here, I am mentioning this range from A1 to A3, and after that I'm doing what? I'm using the comma to divide it, and then the next range I'm mentioning from C21 to C2. Then I can mention single cell also. So whether I can I can say single cell, or I can mention a range of cell. It will take, because it takes multiple arguments, but always multiple argument must be divided by comma. And what it will do now, when I press enter, it will do what? It will add all the values from this range, then all the values from this range, and also from this cell, and it will give us the total of the all values. Now for creating the function, there are variety of functions available in Excel. Here are some of the most common function we use. So normally we use most common functions are like sum. This function adds all of the values of the cells in the argument. So whatever the values we give in an argument, so on those cells, whatever the value we have, it will add all those values together. Instead of using one by one cell, we can just use sum and we can mention the range. Then average function determines the average of the values included in the argument, and it calculates the sum of the cells and then divide that values by the number of cells in the argument. And that is how we can do what? We can get the average value. To get the average value, what we do first, sum all the values and then we'll divide the total value by the count of values, like how many values we have. Then we have count function. We also use this count function normally. So this count functions, it do what? It counts the number of cells with the numerical data in the argument. That means when you mention the argument range, it will do try to give you the count of cells we have with the numerical data. Now this function is usually for quickly counting items in a cell range, and this count function has other uh, type of counts also. Count A and count blank, that also do what? Count, but based on different criteria, different thing. Then we have max, that is to calculate the highest value from the given range. So in the argument, when you mention the argument range, so it will give you the highest value within the argument range. Same as minimum, this min function, it will do what? It will give us the lowest value from the given range as a argument. Now these functions are mostly used functions, most common functions we can say, but there are lots of functions we have in Excel which we can use. Now first we'll see how we can use these functions. So to create a function using the AutoSum command. So first there is a AutoSum command which allows you to automatically insert the most common function into your formula. And it includes the most common functions we use, that is sum, average, count, minimum and maximum. For example, here in the image, if suppose I want to count all the values, I want to get the total of all these values in this cell. So what I can do, I can use the AutoSum function and it will quickly calculate all the range, all the values and give me the total of all these values within this range. Now AutoSum do what? It will calculate automatically. So if I want to get the total, I select the cell here and then I will get the AutoSum from the home tab. From the home tab there is an editing group, and from the editing group this is a command called AutoSum. If I click the drop down menu there, I will see the common functions there, which is sum, average, count, maximum or minimum. So whether I want to use sum, I want to use average, count, maximum, minimum, whatever. So I can use any. Now for me, I want here in this example, I want what? Sum. So I select sum, and you see when I select the sum here, what it do? It automatically plays the function there, and also it automatically select the cell range. We don't have to mention the range also. Now how it is going to select the range automatically? That is what it do actually. The cell which we apply the function, suppose I am applying the function AutoSum here in this cell, so it will automatically take the range from the same column. So the values which you have in the same column upward, it will take all the values as a range for the function here in this cell. So we don't have to select the range also when we use the AutoSum command. And then what? After that, you just have to press enter and it will be added into your function and it will give you the result here. It will calculate and the result you will see in the cell, and the formula and the function you will see in the formula bar. So for example, here I'm having this file here and I want to calculate the total of these amount. So I will select the cell here which I want to calculate. So in the home tab, I have this editing group and from there I have this AutoSum command. If I directly select the command here, it will use sum. You can see in the preview it is showing it is going to use sum. If you want to use any other function, then you drop down it and you can select those other functions. So okay, I want sum, so I click on sum and you see what it did. It automatically added the function here and also it automatically selected the range of argument. And how it is selecting it, remember it will select by default from the same column and only select the upward. It will not select the downwards. It will select only the upward cells. And you can see the function here. Now when I press enter, you can see it has calculated the total value of all these values, and here in this formula bar we can see the formula. It selects the range automatically, but if in case it does not select automatically, then what? We should select manually. That means we should give the range argument range as manually. Suppose I don't want to calculate this one, I want to calculate this one, or maybe I don't want to calculate here in this cell, I want to calculate here in this cell. So if I try to use it in here, it will do what? It will not select this range, it will select automatically this range because it is in the same column. So in this case, what you have to do, you have to manually select the range, and that means what? You have to manually apply the formula, apply the function. So, and one more, you can use the AutoSum function from this formula tab from the ribbon. There is a dedicated formula tab for all the formula related options here, formula related commands here in this formula tab. So in Excel sheet, we have a dedicated tab for formulas, and where I have all the options and commands for related to formulas and functions. And here I have this AutoSum command also. The same command I can get it from here, and also I can get it from home tab. So if it is not getting the proper range automatically, then you have to type the formula function manually. So if you want to type or if you want to enter manually the function, then what you will do, you will start with equal sign. Now here if I have a data here in this image, these are the units sold. Now I want to get the average amount of units sold. So average number of units sale, I want to get it here. So I will use what? I know the name of the function which I required. I need average function. So if I know the name, then I can use manually also. So what I can do, I will start with equal sign. Now after giving the equal sign, I know the name, so I will give the name. Now as I start typing the name, Excel will start suggesting me the possible functions which I can use. So I can select, I can type the whole name, or even I can select from the suggested name. Whether you are typing it, so you can type the whole name if you know, or you can take from the suggested name also. After selecting the name, you can press tab, and when you press the tab key, it will automatically select the function and it will add the first parenthesis also. Then in the parenthesis you have to mention the range. Now because I'm not using auto, it is not select, it will not select automatically the range. So I have to select the range manually which I want to calculate. So I can click here and then I can drag it to the range which I want to select. And after that, press enter and it will calculate, and here you will get the result. So if I want to type it manually, so here I have these numbers of units sold and I want to get it here. Now see what happens when I start typing it. I want to have a average function. So I press equal sign. When I press A, it starts showing me all the functions which starts with A. And I can select by my mouse. Now I say no, I want average, so I will give V. Now it is start showing me all the functions which starts from A, V. So I want this one. I can even type the whole name, but I want this one, so I can select it from here. I can select the function and then I press the tab key. So it will auto complete the name, and it will also add the first parenthesis. So you can type manually or you can press the tab button after selecting the function from the suggested list. Then now it is asking for what? You can see that it is giving you the reference, like what you want to have here. Next you have to add the argument value. So I want this, so I will select this and then I will close my function and then I will press enter. And what I get here, I get the total value and the average value, and I can see the function here in the formula bar. Now we can use the function from function library also. So we have a dedicated tab for the functions. We have a formula tab. Now from the formula tab, we can browse the functions by category. In this function library group, we have all the functions. It is divided into categories. So we can choose the functions from the category. If you want to use some function and you don't know exactly the name of the function, but you know that what you want to do, you want to do something related to date and time. So you can go to this category and find your function. You want to do some mathematical thing, so you can go to this function category and try to find your function which suits your requirement. So it is divided into different categories. Now for example, here I want to use some function from the function library. So how I will use this? So here in this case, in this cell, I want to get a count of items. Count of items, that means how many items I have in this item column. So I want to just get the count of number of items. So for that, I know what function I need. I need count function. It will count me the number of cells we have. But normal count will do what? It will only count the cells which contains the numerical value. But in this item cell, in column, I don't have numerical value. I have alphabetical characters also. So for that we have this count a function, and these functions do what? It actually counts the cells which contain any value, whether it is numerical or alphabetical. So I want this one. So how I will use this? I select the cell which I want to apply the function. Then I will go to the formula tab from the ribbon, and from there we'll go to the function library. Now we can go for the category. Now for the count function, it will not come in financial, logical, text, time and lookup, and even not is a mathematical. So we can go to the more function category. In the more function category, we will find the count function here in statistical. It is not engineering function and anything else. So I'll go to statistical category, and it will show you all the function in that category where we have average also. Then from there, I can scroll down and I can find my function there. So when you got your function, click on that function You can see the detail here. Any function you go, hover the mouse there, you will see the detail, the syntax for the function and what it is going to do. So it will be easy for you to find any function, but still there are lots of function. Okay, so I select this count A. When you select that, it will open the argument. For the argument, it will open this function argument dialog box. Now from here, you have to add the argument, and the argument you have to select here, you have to give here. So argument range, that means according to us the range from A3 to A12, and when you mention the range here, then you can see the values, a snapshot of the values there in those cells, and also it shows the result here directly. It gives you the suggestion how to use that, and it also shows you the result. So after you add the range argument what you want to calculate, and then press what? OK. So when you press OK, here you have the value. It will show you the calculated value here in the cell, and you can verify from the formula bar what function and what range you are using. So here I have the items in this column, and I want to get the total here. Now I'll go here, I select the cell, I go to the formula tab, and from the library we have all the formulas. You see there are lots of formulas, and when I go to any formula, I hover the mouse there, it shows me the syntax, and it also shows me what it is going to do. So I know where my function is, so I'll go to more functions, statistical, and here I have all the functions, and I want count A. So you can see how you want to, you can apply it, the syntax and the detail what it is going to do. It goes to count the number of cells in a range that are not empty. Not empty, that means it can contain any value. If you see the count function is also there, it says what? Counts the number of cells in a range that contains numbers, only numbers. So I will select this. Now as I select this, it opens the dialog box for the argument, for function argument. Now you see the difference here. What it is doing, it is giving me the default range here. It is selecting some range, and actually it is selecting which range? This range from the column B. Now why it is selecting this range? Because the cell where I am applying the function is actually in the B column. So that is why what it is doing, it is working like a auto sum function, and it is trying to get automatically this range. So I don't want to calculate this one, I want to calculate this one. So how I will do this? I will change the range here. The range is what I want to use is A3 to A12. So I will type A3 colon A12. You can see the snapshot of those values which we have in those cells, and also it shows you the result here also, and then we can press OK. One more thing, if suppose mentioning the range of cell or cell, sometime it can be difficult for you. So mentioning manually, it is sometime difficult. So what we can do here in this function, from the argument function argument dialog box, you will see this up arrow key here. So if you are not sure what cell addresses are there, so you can do what? You can click on this up arrow key from here. It will shrink the window here, dialog box, and it will allow you to add the range. And now you can select the range by using your mouse. So I know I want to use this range. So I select the range, and then again I will press this arrow key, and here we have the range. So we have two options. Either you can manually type it, which is difficult. So we can use this option here, up arrow key, to add the range into by selecting your mouse. So after doing this, I'll press OK, and here we have the value 10, and you can see in the formula bar that what function and what range we are using. Now the next thing is here, insert function command. This is an interesting command. While the function library is a great place to browse for functions, but sometimes you may prefer to search for one instead. So suppose you can do so using the insert function command. That means suppose I want to do something, but I don't know exactly what function I can use. I want to do something, but I don't know what function I can use. I don't know the name of the function, and I even don't know that whether the function could be there or not. So for finding some function for some specific thing is can be a very difficult task, because there are categories but still there are lots of function. If suppose I want to do something, I go here in the formula bar, I want to find my function, so I have to go through all those functions here, go there, see what it is doing. No, I don't want this. Do I want this? No. Do I want this? No. Do I need this category? Now you see, finding it could be very difficult. You can go here, then you will see lots of function here also. So sometimes it could be very difficult to find a specific function for your task. In that case, this insert function command is useful. Now it may take some trial and error depending on the type of function you are looking for. So however you do practice with, and the insert function command can be a powerful way to find a function quickly. Sometimes it will give you the proper result, sometimes it will not give you the result. Change the search term and you will get something. So how it works? Now for example, here we have a days, here we have date, order date and receive date. Now I want to see how many days it takes to deliver the object, deliver the item. I can see that 12 October to 15 October. It is what, 12, 13, 14, 15. I know how many days are in between. But no, I want to know that is that any weekends around? That means is there any Sundays or Saturdays in between this date? That means I just want to calculate how many business days are there. Not all days. Now, do I have any function for this kind of information, for doing this kind of calculation? So I want to do what? I have to go through all the categories to search for. No, it will take lots of time. So I will use what? This insert function command. Let's see how we can do this. Select the cell, I want it here. Then what? I will go to this formula tab from the ribbon and click on this insert function command. And when I press insert function command, it opens this dialog box. Now dialog box has the option to search for the function here, where you can type what you want. Remember what you want, you will type the keywords. Like I want to count days, so I will type count days. So it will, when you press the go button, it will show you the results. Now if you know that okay, I want to count something and it must be, it could be in some category, so we can select the category, what particular category to search for. Or if you don't know the category also, then what, you can go for all. Now when you search it, when you type some keywords, it will give you a result with some functions around them. Then from that, instead of going all the functions, you can go and only try to look for those functions which it shows here. So when you select any function, here it will show you the syntax and what it is going to do. Sometime it will give some result, sometime it says no result. So you just try to change the keywords. So try error, you may find your function. So I want to do what? I want to count days. So I can go with this one. It will do what? It will return the number of whole work days between two dates, work date. That means except Saturday and Sunday. So after selecting the function, you can press OK, and then again it will open the function argument dialog box. Then here you will select the arguments like start date and end date, and then when you press OK, it will give you the result what you are looking for. And even now, if I want to calculate for all these other dates, I can use fill handle to copy the function to the other cells, and I will get all the dates, all the days in between. For example, let's see here, I have a data here and I want to do calculate the dates from this date to this date. So I select here, I know the function, but still I go here, insert function command. So here you will see the dialog box where you can say, it says type a brief description of what you want to do, and then click OK. Here you have options to select the category. If you don't know the category, go for all and then type what you want. So I want to do count days and I say go. Now he's refined the functions. He says it will show you all the functions, only the functions which can do this thing what we are looking for, and it is not too much. So we can go and see each functions here, and we can see the detail, we can read the detail here, and then we can come across the function which we need, like this one. It returns the number of whole work days between two dates. So I know, okay, this is the function I required. Let's try this one. Okay, you see the value here now, the dialog box for argument. So for start date, I can type the cell address, or if I'm not sure the address, then what I'll do, arrow key, select the start date, then for end date, arrow key, select the end date, and then with after giving the argument, I'll say okay, and here I get 4 days, and I can copy the function to other cells, and here I get all the work days in between these two dates. So this insert function command is useful if you don't know anything about the function which you need. Now double check your formulas. One of the most powerful feature of Excel is ability to create the formulas, but you can use the formulas to calculate new values, analyze data and more, but formula also have a downside. And if you make even a small mistake when typing a formula, it can give you an incorrect result. And to make matter worse, your worksheet will not always tell you if a formula is wrong, because if you give the argument correctly, the argument which the function or formula required, if you give the sequence for the argument for the function and the syntax of the formula is correct, then what, it will not give you error, and you have to check for the error. That means giving the some different errors what you mentioned, like it is because of you make some errors in giving the formula, typing the formula. So if it is not a syntax error, it will not tell you that the formula is wrong, but still it will give you the wrong value. So it is better, it is a good idea to check, double check. So there are some tips which you can use to double check the formula. First, check the references. Whenever we use any formula or function in any cell, so you have to be sure that I'm giving the references I'm giving is the correct references. How you can check it? You can just double click on the cell where you have used the function or formula. It will highlight those cells which you have used for this function or formula. So you can see that okay, it is correct or wrong. Like if I see this cell, I used a reference here in this cell. So I have to double check that whether I have given the right reference or not. So I double click on it, and here I can see it is highlighted the references. It is very simple reference, but sometime what happen, you mention some cells from here, from here, from here, from here. So it could be difficult to guess what reference you have given. So you have to be make sure that when you click, double click, it will show you all the reference cell you have mentioned. The other tip is to look for mix-up. Look for mix-ups, that means a common mistake is to use the correct cell reference. That means, but it is wrong order. You have mentioned the reference right, but sometimes you have mentioned it wrong order. So if you want to, for example, if you want to subtract a value from the C2 to the value from the C3, so the formula should be what? C3 minus C2, not C2 minus C3. Let's add the values here. This is what? 5 minus I, and the C2 value has 10. So if the C3 cell has value 5 and C2 has value 10, then it is the right order. That means it will give you the result what? After minus 10, 5 from 10, you will get what? 5. Now if you reverse the order, so this will be 10 and you are minusing 10 from what? 5. And what result you will get? You will get minus 5. So it is not right, it is wrong. The cell reference is not wrong, it is the order we have given wrong. So you have to be careful in the order of the reference also. Then break it up. Break it up, that means if your formula is too complicated to check, so try to break it up into several smaller formulas. It is good idea to break the single big formula into small formulas. So it will do what? It will easy to guess, it will easy to read also, and it will do what? It will easy to check your formula also. For example, here if you see in the image, if I want the total here in this cell, total means I want to add the total amount of these items, and in that I have to add the tax value also, and then I want to get the total value. If I am not dividing this formula and if I'm using it in single cell like total here, so what I have to do here, first I have to use it like this. First I'll say okay, let's use sum, or maybe I don't want to use sum. Let's go more simple, no functions. So for this kind of calculation, what I will do here, first I will do what? I will add all these values. That means in this cell, what I will do, I will add these values like what is it? It is B2 plus B3 plus B4 and in the bracket, so that it will calculate first, and then from there I want to get the tax percentage. So I will multiply the total value to the tax rate percentage is 0.75. Then I will get what? I will get the tax percentage. Now from that tax percentage I will add the total amount also. So total amount, that means again I will say plus B2 plus B3 plus B4. Now it can become difficult to read and understand, and it can make a mistake also. So it is easy for us to do what? Divide it. So divide it means what? How I divide it? First I add these values here and I will get the value here in this cell. Then to get the tax percentage, I multiply the value, that means the value which I get in this cell, which is B5, to the tax percentage, and here in this cell I will get the tax percentage, and then finally I will get the total. I will do the total. That means finally I will add all these two cells only here, and I will get what? The total amount. So instead of running the whole big function here, formula here, I break it into three steps. First, two, second, and three. And that is what it is easy to read also, and is it easy to uh, apply also. Then one more thing is to check the argument properly. Sometime when you use a function, so each function requires an argument. Now the arguments which it is required, it is some arguments are compulsory and some arguments are optional. So when you start typing the formula, you will see the arguments preview, like what is compulsory and what is not compulsory. Now in this case, when you make a wrong mistake, when you add a wrong uh, argument or incomplete argument, then what you will see like this error. So in that case, what should do? You should try to, don't try to change this one, just try to guess the idea what is wrong here. So what in the other cell, you try to use the same formula, and when you start typing it, you will see the argument range. What are the arguments it requires? Now you can guess what is compulsory and not compulsory. So actually the compulsory arguments are these arguments, and the optional arguments comes under the bracket, which is optional. If you give, it's okay. If you don't give, it is still okay. But the arguments which is not in the bracket, they are compulsory. Without that, the formula is not completed, and you will see the error like this. So when you start typing in other cell, you will see what arguments it required, and then when you check here in this cell what argument is there present in this cell, and then after comparing it, you can see what is the problem, and then you can fix it. So if I have a problem here, I'll show you. Here we have calculated the, we have used the network days. So if suppose there is a problem here, like it says that there is a less very few arguments. Mhm. Let's say if I use like this network days, and I gave only one argument, and I say close and say okay. You say that, you say it says you have entered too few argument for the function. Why it is saying that? It is not taking it because you see here, this is compulsory start date and end date. The holiday is in what? Bracket. That means it is not compulsory. So after giving the first date, comma, you have to mention the end date, and then after giving the end date, it says that you can give what, this optional holiday option, but if you don't give it, still it works. But if you don't give the full argument, you will get error, and you will not about to apply also. Now walk through the order of operation also. When you are using the formula, the order of operation is also important. Order of operations, that means what? First it is going to use the parenthesis, what is inside the parenthesis, then it is going to calculate the exponents, and then it will go to calculate what, the multiplication and division, and then finally it will calculate what, the addition and subtraction. So remember the order of operation from the math classes. So the Excel spreadsheet also use the same order. So it does not calculate a formula from left to right or right to left or below to up. So it will always go for the order of operation. So in this case, if you see here, this is what a wrong calculation, you will get what the wrong value, because what here it is happening, because you have addition and multiplication. So order of operation says what, do the multiplication first and then do the addition, but we want to do the addition first. So in this case we have to do what, we have to add this into parentheses, and then you will get the right value. So remember the order of operation whenever you are applying the function there or any formula. And one more option we can do, we can switch to the formula view. Formula view, that means by default it does not show you the formula in the cell, it only shows the what, the result of the formula. And formula you can check in formula bar. Now sometimes it is difficult to see where is the formula. If you see here in the sheet, you don't know where the formulas are used, you don't know in which cell or which column we have the formulas. So in this case what we can do, we can switch to the formula view. In that view it will do what, it will not show you the values in the cell, it will show you directly the formulas in the cell. And how you can go to the formula view, you can press control, hold the control key and press this grave ascent. So when you press control plus this key, that means this one, so the combination of this key will do what, it will switch to formula view, and then you will see all the formulas in the cell where you have used. And when you want to go back, then again press the same combination, key combination, it will go back to normal view. So if you see here, we are not able to guess where the formulas are. So I will change the view here. So by pressing the key, I can see now the changes, and all the cell which contains the formula, now it is showing formulas, not the values. So we can say that here we have a formula, here we have formulas, and here we have function. Now go back to normal view, you can again press the key and it goes back to the normal view. So it is a helpful tip to see where the formulas and functions are located. And that is it for this video. So this is how we can use the formula functions in our Excel sheet. There are lots of functions, but we can't see all of those functions. You have to go through from each category to look for. Then we can, if you are not able to go through, then what we can do, we can use the insert function command to search. So these are the things which we have idea to how we can use the functions. So you can use the functions. Now in the next video we will see some next thing. Till then, have a good day and thank you for joining.